Introducing the all-new Corolla.
Five more witnesses took the stand today in the Chad DeSoto murder trial. Two witnesses, police officer Jeremiah DeChavez and GMH nurse Ayako Fulger, said they interviewed one of the victims taken to the hospital who was stabbed in the chest. The other three witnesses were at the scene of the crime as it unfolded. The first to testify was U.S. Navy C-130 loadmaster Nicholas Dismay. He says he saw the knife that DeSoto used to stab the victims.
It was a kitchen-style butcher knife. It had a black handle, and it was bent.
And what does this photograph show that you recognize?
The knife that I just described.
Do you recognize this?
Yes.
And what is it?
It's the knife that I just pointed out earlier.
Next to testify was Australian Royal Air Force member Tony Richardson. He says he witnessed DeSoto chase people with knives. After DeSoto was subdued, he ran toward the victims to offer assistance, but there were already other passers-by attending to them.
I came up to where the grandmother was lying.
How did she appear to you?
She died, and as I was coming up, it appeared to take a last breath or two, and then she stopped breathing.
Paul Barrick, also with the Australian Royal Air Force, went up next. He too was at the scene with other colleagues and says they ran across the street toward what appeared to be a car accident. Barrick says he heard a man yell, "Run, he's got a weapon," and that's when the crowd dispersed, running in different directions, most running away, some chasing after DeSoto.
When I reached there, they were struggling with this person. They got into the ground, and that's when a number of people came from all different directions and just started kicking this person.
After DeSoto was restrained, Barrick, who appeared distressed at times on the witness chair, described how he came to help a Japanese man with a baby whose face was slashed open.
Approximately over in this direction here, I say the assailant was laying on the ground. My colleague was sitting on him. I was probably standing approximately here. I've turned around and looked in this vicinity and seen a Japanese man holding a baby. He was screaming, pointing towards the ground. I've looked at the ground and I could see the situation on the ground as well. He was in hysterics, so I've gestured to the gentleman to pass me the baby.
And how was the baby? How does
Screaming.
Barrick says he also witnessed the Japanese woman take her last breath as the man ran toward the victims who were in a pool of blood on the ground.
I could see an elderly lady to my left that was face down, pool of blood around her. I was seeing that my attention was drawn to the lady in the centre, that the gentleman was bent over, and I virtually observed her last breath, you want to say it that way.
Defense attorney Eric Miller did not cross-examine any of the witnesses, nor did he dispute any of the facts presented. As pointed out in his opening statements, Miller says this case is all about mental illness. Miller says two forensic psychiatrists will testify that, based on psychiatric evaluations, DeSoto cannot be held legally responsible for the crimes he committed.